Welcome back as we continue to talk about how important focus is, in particular to ministry. And today, to illustrate the importance of focus, we're going to talk about what it takes to run an ultra marathon. And we do happen to have a recovering world class athlete with us,
Recovering is the key word.
Pastor Jerry Ingles. Thanks for coming back.
You're welcome. I love being here.
So I've got this medal from the Run Woodstock run. This is crazy. So my brother-in-law, he's a crazy man. He runs 100-mile races. I haven't got to that point yet, but I can say that I have run ultra marathons before, and it is intense. Like you got to be really intentional about what you're doing to your body, right?
Absolutely.
You got to be careful about how much you got to make sure you get enough miles in, but not too many miles. You got to eat the right stuff. You got to drink the right stuff. And all of it just for the goal of winning, not even winning. Honestly, okay, listen, people, anyone who's watching this video who's never done anything with ultra marathons, nobody's running to win the race. That one person, let them go. The rest of us are just trying to survive. Okay, that's what's going on, Jerry. But as we think about how much work and focus it takes to run 50 kilometers or miles or 100 kilometers or even 100 miles, it's very intent. And you can't do it halfway.
No.
Or you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And that's not a good idea. So I'm thinking about this passage, Jerry, where St. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, do you not know that all runners run, but run in a way that you will win the race? Prepare as to win the race. And so, Jerry, I would love for you to share with us some of the preparations that you've had to put into running your first marathon, which is coming up here soon.
Yes. Well, Dan, I got an interesting story because, as we'll talk about another time, I came from the world of being a power athlete. And so I was 260 pounds and I was moving a lot of weight in the weight room. So for me to transition from being a power athlete to being an endurance athlete happened later in my life. And so it's been an intentional focus because I've had to diet, I've had to lose weight, I've had to build up from basically nothing to something. And so the farthest run I've got under my belt so far is 20 miles.
Okay.
But it took me a year to get there.
Yeah.
And then this year, my goal is to get up to that 50K, 31-mile mark.
Yeah.
And that takes intentionality to say, okay, I don't want to train too quick and I don't want to train too slow
Right.
because intensity is important, intentionality is important, but also pacing the process
Yeah.
so that you don't overtrain.
Well, and good for you, Jerry, doing something completely new. You know, the reason you're running longer distances a little bit later in life when you were the big, bulky power thrower guy, right?
Yeah.
I run long distances because the reality is I'm just slow. Like I'm literally slow. I used to be the fastest guy on the team. Now I'm the slowest guy. All right. But I can run for a long, long, long time. And I think this is something important too for us as even as Christians in this churches to recognize our abilities, where we're at in the process, to build a plan and then to stay true to that plan.
Absolutely.
And which is why, you know, with the most of our congregations that we're working with now with Genysys, it's a 12-month long process. We're not going to just come in and do a campaign and then leave. We're not just going to come in and help you dream big and then say, bye, see you later.
Yeah.
We want to run the race with you, right? And it's an endurance race.
Dan, you are so right because I think a lot of churches in America right now, they want to be seen as the big power athlete. I'm sick. I was 6'6", 270s when I was training for the Olympics. And now I'm barely 200 pounds at 6'6". I'm leaner. I can go longer. I'm never going to be as big and powerful looking as I once was. But you know what? My goal now isn't to be big and powerful. My goal is to finish the race in such a way as not to be disqualified, to run with endurance. And I think there's a process behind that where churches need to stay focused on the mission of finishing that race faithfully and not just presenting themselves as being big and successful and powerful in the eyes of the world. I mean, we need to carry faithfully this message of the gospel until the Lord returns.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff, Jerry. And so for us, as we think about what it means to run the race with endurance, let us resist the temptation to take the shortcut, to be the big splash,
Yeah.
you know, and just do what God has called us to do faithfully and with intentionality and focus on what he has called us to do, knowing that he will bless us when we do.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.